Hey guys, A.N.D.Y with Authentic Nerds Don't Yield. I'm just doing my spoiler review for House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 3. Technically, this is Episode 1 of this season, but with the writer strikes, they delayed the two episodes that we got already. So it's kind of weird because the last episode, although it was decent, it was definitely meant to be the finale of the last season. That's why the last season I feel like was lacking so harshly. And then this episode, although was maybe meant to start the season, it wasn't nearly as strong. It was okay. I definitely, I've listened to some videos since then. I'm a little late to doing this review, but I've had like a lot of thoughts in my head and got a lot of notes. And I definitely didn't enjoy this episode as much while watching it, and then while listening to people talk about it, I think I definitely had my like negative thoughts be I don't know, like there was some good stuff too, but I feel like most people are kind of shitting on this episode, and I think kind of rightfully so. But there was some highlights. So I'll start with the highlights. The highlights, acting is great, always from Emma Darcy, who's Rhaenyra, Matt Smith's character, Damon, and Allison. I think those three are the big standout actors in this show, and they do great. And I think by far Damon is my favorite character. I think Lord Ormond Hightower, newer character, he's starting to catch my eye, and I think he's going to be really interesting next couple episodes. Him and Matt Smith's interaction at the beginning. Sorry, I keep calling him Matt Smith, but Damon and Ormond's interaction at the beginning is pretty interesting because, he went there to like take over basically that part of the war going on and tell them, who the new queen is and everything, and then force him to, bend the knee, and he did, and it was kind of interesting how quick he did it. But, spoiler for everything again, at the end of the episode we find out he lied and was going back on the throne and everything, so that's going to be cool to see that come through. Aside from that, I didn't give a shit about anything else in this episode. As harsh as that sounds, it's true. Rhaenyra, I can't, like, this episode, she was awful, and she's been leading into this, but the whole, like, her being, meant to be queen and everything is, other than fucking Damon saying that, I don't see why that's true. Because she clearly, the whole episode, she's stressed, so stressed, doesn't know what to do. She's thinking about what her dad would have done and all this stuff. Who wasn't a good king, and Damon keeps bringing that up. And I forget the guy's name. When she knights the three guys, the fucking Valerian guy, she fucks that relationship up. Like, there's so many little things. She focuses on the Commonwealth people and screws over the other people who are going to now be her, the people that help her figure all this stuff out and have connections and everything. Like, I don't know. It just seems all very rash and very emotional and very, like consequences will come from a lot of these things. And that's clearly this world. But I don't know. I know that I haven't read the book or anything. I have some knowledge of this world, but like, I've seen all the other shows and seasons of everything, but this show is definitely my least favorite, but I'm still going to watch it. But I know, like, obviously in Game of Thrones, there's no dragons, right, at the beginning. So clearly everything has to go terrible for the Targaryens and all these houses, and shit's going to go badly. So you got to have, I guess, a queen who doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So we'll see where it all goes. But yeah, I can't stand Rhaenyra anymore. And I think Allison is still okay, but I don't know. She doesn't serve any purpose. And I was really looking forward to see her like have a confrontation with like Allison and Rhaenyra, because Rhaenyra executed her dad, Otto. And that fucking, they just breeze past that. And then later on, she mentions it in like passing, just before they do the whole, that's not a fucking real Targaryen. That's some girl dressed as a Targaryen, disguised as pretending to be a boy. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? So I don't know. I think this episode's really messy, and I think the show is getting really messy. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of things. So many things took me out of this episode. Like, the biggest thing was the music. So, like I said, Rhaenyra is so stressed, and she sees Jace in a vision, or like survivor's guilt, or some sort of guilt. It's obviously not him. It's like a ghost or whatever. It's in her head, and it's like, okay, that's okay. I like that's an interesting beat. Like they didn't really do much with it, but then like there's like this music every time she's stressed that keeps popping up, and it's so loud and it's so like they want you to know she's freaking out. And it's like it was so distracting, the music. And then this is a random thing to complain about, but so when they were doing the banquet dinner, after the banquet dinner, Renera leaves, and she sees this guy, this bigger guy, and she starts to talk to him. The most random actor choice I've ever seen. I forget the guy's name, but he's the big guy who's in like, he's in Fanboys, he's in Balls of Fury, he's in fucking what's the fucking Harry Potter spinoff, Fantastic Beasts or whatever. Such a random fucking choice of an actor for like no role. So if he's in it again, interesting. But like, I was like, what the fuck? Nothing against the actor, but I don't know. I know I'm in different things, and when you see an actor, like it's like if you saw Seth Rogen in Star Wars, you saw Jack Black in Star Wars, and you're like, no, like that was that for me. And then again, the knighting of the three men, although kind of cool, it seems like it's gonna be cool. It's not, because Damon does it in the most lazy ass way. He does one fucking, by the name of the father, and he does it for three guys. Like, I don't know. It'd be cool to see it actually done properly. The Night of the Seven Kingdoms killed it. Such a good show. I will rewatch that multiple times over and over. But no, it's just the show needs help, and I think it's just the writers. And I heard George R. R. Martin left the show and isn't part of it anymore, and it shows. And then like there's highlights. Like one thing I did enjoy, Damon and Renera speaking High Valerian. Sorry, before that, I think it was them in like bed together. You see how far they've come, and it's weird. Obviously, they're cousins, and their relationship's fucked up to begin with. But like there is some sort of like comfort you see with them together, and it is kind of nice, as twisted as it is. You see them developing as people depending on each other, and it's interesting because there is some character growth there. So I appreciate a bit of that. Obviously, the times are fucked up, but then you see them like talking High Valerian later on. That's when it's like yellow font or whatever, and they talk about kind of being like Aegon the Conqueror. He only had 3 dragons. You have 8 or 6. I forget what it was. And like that stuff I like. And so Damon's clearly like, you can do this. You have all the tools, and she clearly can't fucking do it, but he believes in her, which is great. So we'll see where it goes, because it's clearly going to go badly. And then, yeah, like the whole common folk thing with the food and everything, I feel like I didn't give a shit about that, but I get it. That felt like a very forced subplot. One thing that I rolled my eyes at, and I learned a bit more about this, but it's going to sound bad, but she fucking randomly gets her period, and it's like, she's so stressed with everything going on, and then that happens. I'm like, do we need this? I don't think we need this. But so I heard from someone else that in the book, she sits on the throne and she like cuts herself, and she like blood spills everywhere. And then someone was like, well, what if they changed it to be that she got her period? I'm like, for fuck's sakes, probably. But I'm like, just some of the writing is just like, we don't need this. And now apparently there's 8 episodes this season, but technically 6, because the first 2, like, brutal. It looks like the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones, and it's not good. There's again always highlights. Like there's highlights in the later seasons of Game of Thrones. Visually is the main thing, but writing wise, that's where it lacks. But this episode, fuck, I hope it gets better. But last episode, there was things I enjoyed, mainly the action. But this one really took a dive. I would give this like a the more I think about it, the worse it is. Like I would give this a 5.5 out of 10 generously. It was not good. I didn't like it, but we'll see where it goes. So also when you see the length of an episode, like I think it was like 1:10 last week, and this one was like 56. You're like, oh, okay, so they didn't write as much. So I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I can't see that and think, oh, sweet, this is going to be a shorter episode. That's always a good thing. No, it's usually fucking not. But anyway, let me know what you thought. Sorry to be so negative, but I'm not sorry. I hope next episode's better. And honestly, this makes me want to rewatch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That show is so fucking good. Let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching. Watch other reviews, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.